digs in another time, in the 50s.
That's very tactful of you, John.
Tell me, when you rehearsed in New York and then you went to New Haven for a tryout, and I think maybe Philadelphia after that, and then eventually into the Mark Hellinger Theatre. We all know that the rehearsals were very intense in that, but tell me, did you know, or did Rex Harrison know that this was possibly going to be a groundbreaking piece of theatre?
I think there was a kind of sense of excitement about the show even then. So many people were talking about it. So many people were coming to see us out of town. But I don't think anybody could have predicted the actual success that the show was. It was, you know, as Hamilton on Broadway is today, this lovely show was and continues to be just a fabulous piece of Broadway theatre. It stems from the great golden age of Broadway when the musicals were just so glorious. The West Side Story was about at that time.
That's right.
Gypsy came just a few, maybe a year later, something like that. But glorious shows, and I think My Fair Lady was, I dare say, and I can say it now, I think the standout show
of that season. And you also worked with the great Moss Hart as director in My Fair Lady, and of course Camelot. And did you ever feel in the rehearsal room here at Opera Australia that you were possibly channeling him at all, or he was hopefully sending you messages?
Well, I did send a few messages up and ask if he'd give me some advice and some thoughts. Hello, Guy, I see you down. Hi, guys. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I did. Of course, I'm remembering things that he said and his kindness to me. Am I on?
Yes.
Yep. And his generosity. I was I was a rank beginner when I started in Fair Lady, and he was my mentor. And of course, I'm channeling him now, but trying to bring one or two extra things because it is low this many years later, and although we are creating the absolute essential My Fair Lady the way it was, with Cecil Beaton's beautiful costumes and Oliver Smith's beautiful, beautiful designs of scenery and sets, there are some things that over the years require just a tiny bit more, I think, today.
And tell me, because you had in the rehearsal room, I would have thought, Frederick Loeb and Alan J. Lerner, of course, the two masters of writing this piece.
Yes.
And they're, of course, not around anymore. But when you think of that major talent pool that was brought together for this production, and to think, God, 60 years on, it's still being produced somewhere around the world.
Well, this is its 60th anniversary, and I think there are more productions this year everywhere in the world than there have ever been, and everyone is celebrating it again, and I'm hoping this is the definitive 60th anniversary production.
And I think what's also wonderful about this is that we've had an enormous amount of fun in trying to put it together, going through all the archives of set designs, costume designs, choreography with the wonderful Christopher Gattelli, our choreographer.
Well, he's a great friend and he's out among you, I suspect. And he has been just, well, if you're coming, and I hope you will, wait till you see some of the surprises, lovely surprises we have for you.
And I also think that, you know, even going down that road of casting, you know, our Henry and our Eliza, we saw over 250 Elizas.
Between us we did,
That's
yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
I must have seen 150 at least.
Without a doubt.
And we have an absolutely spectacular Eliza in our beautiful Anna, and a wonderful Higgins in Alex Jennings. We are so lucky and fortunate with our company, wonderful Reg Livermore, whom everybody knows and loves, and understandably so. But also, not just Christopher Gattelli, but Richard Pilbrow is doing spectacular lighting. He's one of the world's great lighting designers, and we have Guy at the helm of this opera house orchestra, and it's a big orchestra and it's luscious. You don't get that very much these days, particularly on Broadway.
No, and I think that, you know, we've got about 31 to 32, maybe 33 players here, where I think originally on Broadway, I think it was about 25 originally. I may be wrong about that. But
Might have been 29, but
yeah,
honestly,
right.
not 31 or 33
Yeah.
or whatever.
But I think also, you know, even the casting of Mrs. Higgins with Robin Nevin.
Yes.
And Robin's not known for doing musicals, and this is her first big musical.
And I think she actually was wanting to come aboard.
Very
I mean,
much
it's such an honour to have her in our show, and it gives such a genuine cachet to the kind of sheen.
That's right.
And as Henry Higgins' mother, she's ravishingly beautiful and wonderful.
And of course, the wonderful Mark Vincent playing Freddie
You also know
Eisenman.
him, I think you know him.
Because you fell in love with that voice the minute he walked into the audition.
I'd heard that Mark very much wants to be a part of musical theatre, and everybody said, well, just listen. And I listened and was gobsmacked at his beautiful voice and said, well, I think that would really lift the show just when we need that little lift. Let's please, if we can get him, let's take him.
And of course, the casting of Henry Higgins being Alex Jennings, who was fresh off this brand new television series by Netflix called The Crown, and of course he was in Lady in the Band with Maggie Smith. So
Yes, he's
we
just
were so lucky to get him.
consummate actor and sings amazingly well and has an ear. I'm amazed every single night when I watch him, and I'm really, honestly, truthful about that.
And Julie, I think what a lot of people should remember, that Julie is, this sounds scientific, but you're the last DNA of this original production that was a part of that. I think you're the last one. Maybe I think there is a wonderful stage manager in New York, Jerry Adler. Was it Jerry? Yeah.
Jerry Adler, yeah.
But I think what's exciting for me as a producer, and I know my friends at Opera Australia, is to have been given the opportunity to recreate this production as it was in 1956. And I think
Also, John, to be able to give back a little of the things that I learned when I was such a beginner, and I was in the show a very long time, and I hear cadences still from the original show, and to be able to pass on some of the wisdom that was handed down to me, because it was the greatest learning experience of my life. And it's a thrill and a joy and an honor to be asked to direct this beautiful production. And I think you will be so thrilled with it when you see it.
Well, Julie, I think they're ready backstage.
I'm hearing a lot of clunking back here.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe we should leave.
All right, I'd be happy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks everybody so much.